Nintendo! Oh, this was the big thing yesterday, Mr. Black. Did you see this? Lots of people talking about this. The new Switch. So we talked about several times, our estimates on when a new Switch would pop up, or a new model of the current Switch, not like a new console necessarily, but like a new model. We were estimating, I originally estimated the end of this year, and then the coronavirus happened. And then on top of the coronavirus, nobody can buy computer parts or components. And so I thought that there was no way they were going to do anything. Well, Nintendo figured it out, Mr. Black. They solved the Rubik's Cube. While they're changing almost nothing about this console, they can buy Samsung OLED screens. And so they're making a OLED version of the Switch. Almost nothing else of note is changing in here. I'll go over the scant changing details here besides that new screen. But yeah, the screen is 7 inches now. Well beyond my penis. It was closer before at 6.2, now it's 7. It was 6.2 before, now it's 7. I need surgery for that makeup. And then 720p, so it's the same resolution. It's the same resolution as it was before. So that's not surprising, because when we talked about like a new Switch, we did talk about how we thought the body would likely maintain the same size so that they didn't have to redo the fabrication of everything. So the bezels are smaller, which allows it to go from 6.2 to 7, which is, if you're wondering in penis terms, that's the equivalent of shaving your pubic hair to give the illusion of an extra inch of length. Getting rid of the bezels. The pubic hair is the penis's bezels. Trim it if you want to have the illusion of a bigger dick. Just a pro tip on that one. So it is same resolution, 720p. It has an improved kickstand, Mr. Black.
Ooh.
An improved kickstand. And I'm not talking about its bigger dick now. It's an actual improved kickstand. Instead of like the flimsy little fucking thing that it was like my phone case, like this thing. It's an actual full-length kind of a kickstand, so it will be a lot more robust than it was in the past. What else was there? Oh, better audio, whatever that means. Not that I know a lot of people playing the Switch without headphones, because that, no matter how good the audio is, probably going to be pretty bad. If I had to take a fucking wild guess on that one.
Yeah.
So better audio, a wired LAN port. We're getting Ethernet on the dock, Mr. Black.
Wow.
What year is it again? I think it's 2021.
It's 2021.
Okay, we're getting wired internet on a Nintendo console in 2021. It's happening. It's unfortunately replacing the USB port that's on the internal part of the dock. There's still the 2 USB ports up front. But in order to make room for the LAN port, they had to axe the USB port on the inside of that. Not that I think that's going to ruin anyone's day. I think most people were probably using that internal port to plug the current USB adapter LAN port into that USB port so that they had wired internet to the Switch. Because the Wi-Fi on the Switch is, well, it's actually fucking horrible. I mean, everything internet is bad on Nintendo, but really the Wi-Fi is atrocious. It's really, really bad. So having that is a nice bonus for sure, despite the fact that pretty much everyone probably already has the USB dongle, but nevertheless, I'll give them points for joining us in the wired land. And beyond that, we have, they're upgrading the internal storage, Mr. Black. Current one, I think, is 32 gigs. 32 gigs of storage. That's like a game and a half on that bad boy. But you know what? Nintendo heard all the cries, the outcry for more storage so that you can play more of your favorite Nintendo games. And so they really stepped it up and bumped that internal storage up to 64 gigs.
Boom. Bet you didn't see that coming.
64 gigs. Read 'em and weep, Mr. Black. In the land of flash storage being so fucking cheap.
Dirt cheap.
How in the fuck are we at 64 gigs on an updated model of the Switch? How is that not 256 or
Seriously.
like 128?
Yeah. Like,
I'm not gonna ask for a terabyte. That's gonna make it an expensive console, right? But like 128, I think we can pull off 128. 256.
yeah.
But like 128 would be cool. I don't know. But 64 gigs. Bro. Thank you, Nintendo, I guess. We get 2 games on there. We did it. It launches, Mr. Black, at $349, which is about $50 more than the current sale price of the Switch. The body is the same, so the current Joy-Cons will also work. So if you've got spare Joy-Cons laying around the house and you want to use them already as like multiplayer options, they totally work. They'll still attach to the screen, etc., because it is exactly the same body. It's just the screen has less bezel to make it work. But that also means, Mr. Black, that the drifting Joy-Con issue, totally still a problem.
Cool.
Because they haven't changed them. It's the same thing. And they did confirm they are the same Joy-Con, so they will also drift in time. Beyond that, what else did I have written here? Oh, this also seems, I'm saying this is just me talking now. This also seems to signal that they may treat the Switch like they did the older Game Boy and 3DS models, where like back in the day, they had, a million fucking 3DS models, a million fucking Game Boy models, for one generation. And I suspect they're probably going to do that with the Switch. Now that they have the Switch and they don't have to focus on a console and a handheld, and the Switch is kind of like Nintendo's wet dream in terms of a format. It allows them to be like a docked console and a handheld format.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get like just inundated with models of the Switch, much like we did in the past with those other consoles. And all of those are going to have like these tiny little revisionist pieces that aren't really substantial until you wait for like 4 fucking models until you get to a point where it's not just like a different color swap. It's an actual upgrade.
It's gonna be an iPhone, man.
And so, I still expect a, like, Switch Pro or a Super Nintendo Switch, which I think is the name that they should go with, personally, in the future, probably within the next 18 months within 18 months of this one launching. So this one comes out October 8th. It's the same day that the new Metroid game pops up. And then I suspect within 18 months of that, we're going to get the next round, and it's probably going to be a pro model thing where the internals actually get upgraded, because even for Nintendo and meeting certain like spec for Nintendo in terms of visual fidelity and capability of the console, even for Nintendo, the Switch in another by that time, that's going to be 2 years. That's going to be pushing it. The Switch is already pushing it right now. But in 2 more years, my phone games are going to look and run better than the Switch. And so I think we're probably within that for time frame for that to pop up a newer model with newer guts. But for now, there you go. So I don't know who this is for. Nintendo fans will buy it as their, I made this tweet. I don't think it matters. Nintendo fans will buy fucking goddamn anything. If they already have 2 Switches, this will be their 3rd. They got 4, this will be their 5th. This should really be for people that haven't bought a Switch yet, and now they're finally getting games that they don't care about. Maybe it is in fact the Metroid game. Now we pick it up, and on top of that, it's really only for people that either A, in my opinion, okay, don't have a Switch already, or B, have a first-gen Switch that mostly use it in handheld mode, because by now the battery life is likely going to be a bit better than it is. We already know that there is better battery life in like the 2 or 3 SKU changes that the Switch has had over the last couple of years. So better battery life. Maybe the Switch is starting to kind of run out of its juice, like the original one. And then if you're playing mostly in handheld, you're the one benefiting from the one significant upgrade this console is getting, and that's the screen. Yeah. So if you're somebody that plays your Switch mostly docked, this is a complete waste of money, and you'd be insane to buy it. But I'm sure that won't stop some people from fucking buying it anyway, even though they already have a Switch. So, all the best to all you out there. Good luck against the scalpers. $349 launch price. What do you think the scalper price is going to be for this, Mr. Black? Let's get a guesstimate. Couple months out. What do you think?
It's
It's going into the holiday season too. That's an October 8th release.
$1,000.
It's little Timmy and little Sally Christmas present.
Yeah.
$1,000.
I think it's gonna go up to $1,000 around Christmas time if people can't get their hands on it. And I think like a regular price will probably be like 700. Will probably be like your standard,
Double.
but some people will get away with about 1,000, and people will pay for it.
Oh, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suspect between October and November, double the price.
Yeah.
Mid to end November into December, they still can't get their hands on it. All of a sudden, people will be paying $1,000 for sure to get their hands on it in time for Christmas, and we'll find out because it's only a few months away. So let's wait and see what happens there.